Hello. Welcome. Happy Wednesday, or whatever day you're watching this. My name is Keith, and I am the meditation teacher here on this channel, Meditation Breaks. And this channel is all about learning meditation, as you might have gathered by the name, but learning it in a way that I feel is kind of like practical to apply to our kind of modern day life. Sometimes we think meditation is, got to be some like guru or something, or like it's a lot more simple, I think, than sometimes it's presented. And so that's what we talk about here, right? Okay, so each week we have a topic, and if you're like, hey, I need to know the basics, don't worry, because every week before our topic, we go over the age-old question of what is this meditation thing, right? We hear this word all the time. What does it mean? How do we do it? Is it worth our time? How does it work? Why does it work? That kind of stuff. So we're going to start, as we always do, with an introduction to what meditation is, and then we're going to do a little short meditation together. And then after that, we're going to go into our topic. And our topic this week is, every time around this year, it's almost Thanksgiving here in the States, I like to do this class on thankfulness, gratitude, recognizing importance. It's one of my it is my favorite meditation, I think. I feel comfortable saying. It has had a huge impact on me, and I think you'll enjoy it. Okay. Before we get started, if you have any questions at any time, you can feel free to use the chat to ask them. I do my best to answer all of them. You don't have to wait for me to say, does anyone have any questions? I'll just stop what I'm doing and answer as soon as I see it. And lastly, if that's not something that you're comfortable with, or you're like, I don't know, you forget to, you think of a question after class ends, I'm going to give everyone my email towards the end of today's session, so you can email me at any time. Okay? All right, let's get started. What's meditation? Big question to open with. So when we think about meditation, there is an image that comes to mind, isn't there? It's the emoji. Someone sitting cross-legged, their eyes closed, hands like this. That is what I'll call like our generic image of meditation. Generic image is kind of what our mind thinks about when we say a word, like our association. And this is kind of ubiquitously how we default to viewing meditation. You can meditate sitting down, cross-legged, eyes closed, whatever, but that's just a seating position. The act of meditating does not, in my opinion, require specific seating arrangements or any of that, right? So a more general definition for meditation that I like to use is to think of it as a technique you can use to familiarize yourself with something. Also, maybe not that helpful definition, but let's break down what that means. Familiarity is a word that is kind of almost synonymous with meditation, what we're trying to accomplish, right? And in meditation, we're talking about mental familiarity, but we don't go around in our day saying, I'm going to familiarize my mind with how to get to the grocery store, right? So like, when we say like, oh, familiarize my mind, it sounds kind of weird, but our mind is in fact becoming familiar with things all day long. Throughout our entire life, everything that we have ever learned from the moment that we came to be is an exercise in our mind familiarizing itself. Right? So let's think about something that maybe is a little bit more tangible to see the importance of familiarity on our life. So we'll take tying your shoe. I like to use this example because I don't know. I always think it was kind of funny. You're the best shoe tire on earth. I can almost guarantee it, right? Even without seeing you do it, you're an expert, right? You can tie your shoe with your eyes closed. You can tie your shoe upside down. I don't know why you'd be doing these things, but you could do it, right? You could say that the act of tying your shoe is something that's like second nature, all right? And this was not always true. When you were wee tot, tying your shoe was literally impossible. First of all, you didn't know what a shoe was. You didn't know what a shoelace was. You didn't know the concept of like making something taut to hold it in place. Like these things were not known, right? They were learned. And so back then, tying your shoe was something that seemed impossible, right? And the first time we did it, probably didn't come out that well. It made a nice little knot. But a little bit of practice, familiarizing ourselves with the mechanics needed to tie your shoe, little by little, our mind, body, it's become so familiar with this activity that what has happened? It has become second nature. We don't have to think about it as much. We don't have to put as much effort into it. It's something that just kind of flows. And this example, tying your shoe, as ridiculous as it might be, is the output is the exact same. No matter if it's tying your shoe, learning a language, investigating your anxiety, right? Being calm. All of this is steeped in familiarity. Calmness, peacefulness, I think, is a really good example because that's what most people get into meditation for, to be more relaxed, to be a little bit more patient with themselves, with others, and whatnot. And sometimes we think meditation delivers this to us, right? If I meditate, I will be peaceful, calm. But actually, meditation is not doing that. Meditation is teaching you to become familiar with relaxed you. You are relaxed. You have that ability. It shows up from time to time. I know we want it to show up more often, right? That's why we're here. But it's not something that you need to acquire. It's something that you already have as a part of you. And so meditation is really about choice, choosing what do you want to become so familiar with that it just kind of flows to you? Do you want to become so familiar with being relaxed and calm that becomes your default and you don't have to put as much effort and concentration into being patient and calm, right? So this is how I like to view meditation, because when we view it this way, something really cool starts to come to be. We see how versatile it is, no matter what you are here for. Some people are here to work on anxiety. That's how I got into meditation. Other people here for, just trying to de-stress, right? Whatever you are here for, the methods that we talk about here work across all of those. So this is a really good self-care technique because it's very flexible, right? We can use it throughout our entire life, no matter what we're trying to work on internally. Cool? Great. How do we do it? So when you first learn meditation, almost always, it's some form of breathing meditation. And breathing meditation is a meditation where the focal point is your breath. That's it. You can meditate on anything. You can have the focal point of your meditation be whatever you want. It could be walking. It could be lifting my arm up and down. It can be a kind of abstract thought. It can be investigating anxiety, right? Um, the only thing that is like a prerequisite for something being a practice in meditation is 3 steps. 1, you are choosing to focus on this thing single pointedly, right? So your goal, you're making this choice, like I want to focus on my breath and nothing else. Sounds kind of ridiculous, but we have meditative experiences a lot, right? Maybe if you're ever like in the zone, working on a document at work, we lose track of time, and noises in the office. If they go away, they didn't go away, but it feels like that, right? Because we're so steeped in something that we start to like lose all the other stuff that's bouncing around in our mind starts to fade, right? So for meditation, we want to, 1, choose to do this. I know it sounds a little ridiculous, but we're going to kind of set an intention to do this, right? And then we're going to focus single pointedly on this thing that we have chosen to focus on. And I'm going to use breathing because we're going to do some breathing meditation here. So the focal point is our breath. And when I say single pointed concentration, I mean just that. Anytime your mind is kind of drifting a little bit, even slightly, it's no longer truly single pointedly concentrating on something, right? So like our mind normally, what does it do when we try to be kind of quiet and focus? At first maybe it's okay. And then it'd be like, oh, yeah, what was that sound? Oh, I got a thing for work tomorrow. Oh, that's making me a little nervous. Oh, I forgot I gotta, I don't know, lock the door. I don't know. Yeah, like our mind thinks about weird stuff. The point is, it's thinking about a lot. It's juggling so many ideas, right? And so when we are meditating, we are picking something to focus on, noticing when our mind goes back into its tendency of drifting, trying to juggle, multitask. And when we notice that, we're going to say, not right now, to those thoughts. That's our little saying here. Those thoughts are just thoughts. They're not wrong or intrusive or unwanted. They're just thoughts. Our mind thinks it's fine. But you know what? Mind, not now. We're doing stuff. We're focusing on our breath, right? And so after we've noticed this, we've kind of put these thoughts aside, we can bring our attention back to our breath. So this 3-step process, choosing to focus single pointedly on something, noticing when your mind is no longer single pointedly focused on it, and then bringing your attention back to focusing single pointedly on it. This is the practice of meditation. And what we're trying to do here is to eliminate some of the noise so that way we can gain an increased familiarity with the thing that we are focusing on, right? And you might be like, well, why do we want to increase the focus on our breath? Let's find out, all right? So we're going to do some breathing meditation now. You might notice I'm not sitting on the floor. I'm in an office chair. You too can be in an office chair or a couch or laying down or standing up or whatever. Or you can sit on the floor too if that's comfortable for you. The point is, it doesn't matter. You don't need anything other than your breath to do some breathing meditation. So get comfortable, however that is for you, and go ahead and close your eyes. That'll help with some of the visual distractions. And I'm going to lead us through about a 5-minute breathing meditation. Okay. Whenever you start a meditation, it can be helpful to take a moment and just check in, to ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? What is my mind up to in this exact moment? Maybe you're tired from a long day, energetic, excited, happy, melancholy, whatever it is. That is perfect. We are not doing anything about it. We are not trying to change. what our mind is up to. We're just noticing, taking an interest in your own mind. Having done that, you can now make a choice, set an intention, a little promise to yourself. And that promise is to focus single pointedly, exclusively on your own breath to the best of your ability for the next couple of minutes. Let that intention sit with you. This is your only task right now. All the other things that you need to do can wait. This is your only job. And with that intention firmly set in your mind, you can act on it. You can turn your full, undivided attention to your own breath, following each breath in and out, gently, naturally. You do not need to alter the way that you breathe. You don't need to take big, deep inhales or forcefully exhale air, breathing through your nose or mouth, everything. Just whatever comes naturally to you. That's what I want you to do. In and out. Gently, naturally. At some point, sometimes rather quickly, you may notice your mind drifting a bit, starting to juggle different ideas besides your breath. Maybe you're thinking about something you have to do later, after this class ends. Maybe your mind is thinking about something that happened earlier today, earlier in the week. Whenever you notice that your mind is starting to drift in this way, we can just say, not right now to those thoughts. We will get to them later. Actually imagine yourself taking those thoughts, placing them beside you. And with those thoughts, patiently waiting, you can direct your full undivided attention back to breathing in and breathing out, gently, naturally. Single pointedly focused on each moment of each breath. We don't normally think of breaths in moments. It's just something that we do. We're so familiar with breathing that it just kind of happens. But what if you really plugged in to each moment of your breath? Would you start to notice some subtleties about breathing? Things that have always been there, waiting to be discovered, waiting to be enjoyed. Maybe as you're breathing, you notice how the air feels cool temperature-wise on the tip of your nose when you breathe in. How interesting. And that same air, when you breathe out, feels a bit warmer, doesn't it? How interesting. Maybe you notice your body participating in breathing. Your shoulders rising every time you breathe in and gently falling when you breathe out. Your chest expanding, contracting. Every part of you an active participant in the act of breathing. How interesting. When you are single pointedly focused on something, you can start to glean some subtleties about that thing. You start to view it with more clarity, a wider lens. In this case, we are viewing breathing with a wider lens. We're finding some subtle joys about our breath. How awesome is that? That you can learn to truly enjoy something as simple and accessible as your own breath. I wonder what else you could learn to enjoy. Breathing in, breathing out, very gently, very naturally. So just for the last few moments, just enjoy sitting here with your breath. No need to think about too much. Just take a little time for you. You very much deserve it. Okay. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Hello. Welcome back. So that was breathing meditation. Like we kind of talked about before we did it, it's 3 steps. We made the choice to do it. We set that intention in our mind. Then we actually did the thing. And whenever we caught ourselves drifting, right, our mind starting to be like, hey, why are you focusing on one thing? I like juggling. We say, hey, not right now. No juggling. And then we bring our attention back to our breath. Right? And if you are new to meditating, you may have noticed that your mind drifts quite often. This is not because you are not good at meditating. This is just because your mind, left to its own devices, has become so familiar with doing as many things that it can at once that is its default. That's what it views as normal, right? And what we're doing here is slowly trying to show our mind and ourself that the other end of the spectrum, focusing on one thing, really dedicating our focus to one thing, not juggling, has benefits too. So that way we can decide which of those is what we need in the moment. Cool? Okay, great. Congratulations, you have just passed Breathing Meditation 101. Not officially, I guess, but in my book you have. So we're going to move on to our topic for today. And like I said, this topic is kind of themed around the old Thanksgiving time here in the States, which is coming up. Every year I like to do this meditation around this time, but this is not like a Thanksgiving meditation. You can and should use this if you want to, whenever you want. I will say that this is my favorite meditation. It's the one of all that I've learned, and I've been doing this for quite some time. It has made the biggest impact on my life, like straight up. And this is because this particular meditation starts to illuminate something that we don't really think about that much when we're going through our day. Similarly to how when we just, normally are breathing out, we're, just kind of doing whatever out there in the world, we don't notice some of those subtle things about breathing. This is the same concept, only it's geared around this idea of recognizing value in other people, which translates into thankfulness. Right? Cool. So I like to think about gratitude or thankfulness as the recognition of the importance of something or someone. Right? The recognition of the importance of something or someone. There's a lot of things, if we think about it, that we're thankful for, right? Now you're sitting around that old table, and what happens? Everyone talks about the same things. Job, house, right? Job's would probably be a big one for me. I lost my job now. Sometimes you can take it for granted, right? Sometimes it's more abstract, like my health, right? All of these things, job, house, health, they are derived from people, right? Somebody created a company that you work at, right? Somebody built your house. Doctors help you maintain your health, right? So people are at the heart of all of these things that we tend to feel gratitude towards, right? Sometimes we just are. I'm thankful for my family, right? My parents, my friends, my coworkers, maybe. That one's contentious, maybe, right? But what about, I don't know, the grocery store clerk that you see once every week and a half? We don't usually, they don't pop up in our mind when we're sitting around the Thanksgiving table. Right? If we really think about it, maybe, but like it doesn't just kind of come to us naturally. And yet, they're a huge part of our life, right? So why does any of this matter, right? Why meditate on this? Why is this meaningful? So if we think about this kind of concept of how we're essentially making a tier of importance in our life, right? And center is pretty much us, yourself, right? And we can use an example to think about this. It's not like it's not like selfishness or anything. It's just this is how we're wired, right? So like let's say you walk outside and you go to the mailbox. I don't even know. I don't have a mailbox. I live in a small town. I could go to the post office. But you go to your mailbox, you got a cup of coffee, right? A little bleary-eyed, just woke up. And you're looking around, you go, you can't find your car. And then after a little bit of an investigation, you realize it's been stolen. What's your reaction? Not good, right? Panic, fear. How am I going to get to work? I can't afford another car, right? The kind of situation is very potent because it's us, right? Now, rewind, go back outside, you go get the mail, your sibling calls you. They go, hey, you're not going to believe this. My car was stolen. What's your reaction? Still pretty acute, right? How did this happen? I can't believe this. Do you need any help? Might say. Same thing with like if this was our best friend, right? What can I do to help? Rewind again. We walk to our mailbox and we overhear a conversation of two people that are walking by, and all we hear is, yeah, and then their car got stolen. We don't know these people. We don't know the person they're talking about. We just overheard it. What do we think? Sometimes we think, man, I'm glad that didn't happen to me. Right? That's kind of a weird thing to say. I say this all the time. You know, it's almost like I'd rather it happen to them than me, because if it happened to me, that would be worse. Right? So we can see that depending on where in the kind of like tier of importance someone resides, our compassion, reaction, fear, it all is tied to that, right? And the example of friends is really good because we have a natural inclination towards compassion, because our best friend in the world, we recognize how important they are to us. We are thankful for them. We have gratitude towards them. They are a huge part of our life, and we know that. And so when something happens to them, we feel it and we want to help. It naturally happens. But the stranger, not so much, right? So this meditation that we're going to do right now is a kind of thought exercise in illuminating this. And what we're essentially going to do is view our day as a movie. What's your favorite movie or show? I feel like those are interchangeable at this in this day and age. Think of your favorite show, the one you've watched a million times. You love it. You ever watch the credits? We generally do not watch credits, but sometimes we do. And like if we're like the lead actors, they were amazing. I want to know who they are so I can watch their other stuff. They really made this movie. I don't know how they would do it without them, right? And then we see, oh, it was, I don't know, Pam Smith. I don't know. And then we're like, okay, and we move on. We don't watch the rest of the credits. But if you did, I don't know if you ever have watched credits for an extended period of time, there is a lot of names on there. There are a ton of people involved in making a single episode of a show or a movie. But nobody is really saying, you know, old Joe, the boom mic technician, he really brought the whole film together. And yet, I don't know if you've ever watched a film that has really bad audio, it's not very enjoyable. And so Joe, the boom mic technician, has had just as much impact on making this piece of entertainment enjoyable for you as Pam Smith, the lead actress. Right? So we are going to look at our day as the credits of a movie. And we're going to start to pick out, is there anyone maybe a little lower on the list that we hadn't really thought of as like a major importance to our day? Maybe we find that they are. Cool. Okay. So we're going to do that now. And you can get comfortable. Perhaps your previous seating arrangement was not to your liking. That's fine. You can change. Get comfortable And I'm going to lead us through this meditation thought exercise. And even though this is going to be like a little different in terms of theme and whatnot than breathing meditation, the concept is exactly the same. The steps are exactly the same. We're going to choose to do this. We're going to choose to focus single pointedly on this thought, and I'm going to be guiding it. So you're just kind of choosing to be a part of this. And then whenever you notice your mind not just focusing on what I'm talking about in this concept, we'd be like, not right now. To those other thoughts, we bring our attention back. So we are meditating on gratitude or thankfulness, this kind of thought experiment. Cool? Okay. Go ahead and close your eyes. Get nice and comfy. And just take a moment and check in with yourself. How are you feeling? It's not a comparison to before. Before is done. Just now. What's your mind up to? Merely practicing something called mindfulness, a word you may have heard before. Mindfulness is an active awareness of your own thoughts, moment to moment, for the purpose of being able to respond in a skillful manner to those thoughts. Having checked in, you can now set an intention. Choose. And the thing you are choosing to do is to focus single-pointedly on this thought exercise on gratitude. Every word spoken, let it sink in. Let that be the thing you're thinking about in this moment. All your other tasks, thoughts, worries, they can wait. Let's put them aside and choose to focus single-pointedly on this. And with that intention set in your mind, we can act on it. I'd like you to imagine your day as a movie. That is our goal here. And your day will definitely be different than someone else's. But follow along with what I'm saying. And do sort of like a general overview. This morning, you woke up. You woke up in your bed. Your bed in your home or apartment, presumably. Who built that home, that apartment, that bed? Other people. In order to build a home, apartment, bed, those people needed tools. Who built those tools? Other people still. Tools are a combination of different materials organized in a specific way for a specific function. Who developed those? Who gathered the materials needed for this, refined them into a usable form? Other people. Each morning you wake up in your bed, in your home, which was given, made possible by countless people you have never met. Maybe then you got up and you took a shower. Nice, refreshing shower. Who ran all of that plumbing to get water into your home? Someone created a way for you to adjust the temperature of your shower with the flick of a wrist. Oh, I'd like it a little warmer. Oh, maybe a little cooler. Whoever came up with this idea and all the people associated with it, they spent countless hours developing this technology so that you can find the exact temperature you like and enjoy your shower. How kind of them to do so. Maybe after your shower, you're going to go get a little breakfast. Maybe a piece of fruit. Think of all the people involved in putting this piece of fruit in your hand. Someone had to plant the seeds, tend to the crops. Then people gathered the best of that produce, packaged it, and then somebody, perhaps on a big truck, comes and picks up all of this fruit that's packaged. And this truck driver spends days driving across the country, away from their family and friends, to deliver this fruit to a grocery store near you. A grocery store run by countless people, painstakingly organized, so that you can walk in to the grocery store, find the piece of fruit that you're looking for easily, and go about your day. Countless individuals involved in putting a singular piece of fruit in your hand. We might be kind of thinking, yeah, but I paid for that fruit. I paid for my car. I paid for all these things with my money. Where did you get that money? From a job? A job probably either run by other people or that requires the support of other people. They took a chance on you over all the people who would love to have that job. How kind of them to take a chance on you. And we might counter by saying, yeah, but I was the best candidate. That's why I got the job. I was the best. Who taught you all the skills that made you the best candidate? Who taught you how to listen, present yourself, to write a resume, to read, to write, to clothe yourself? Math and science and all of the things that you need to have become the best candidate. These were given by other people, teachers, friends, family, media, all of it. There's a tendency to feel that we are independent. But really, we are interdependent. We need each other. If you were to give back everything that someone else had a hand in making possible, you would have nothing at all. Even your body. A product of your parents' love. This meditation can be really powerful in starting to bring some of the names that are low on the credits a little higher up. And by doing so, by recognizing the importance of these people, our compassion for them, our patience for them, our love and kindness towards them, it happens with less effort. It happens more naturally. That is gratitude. That is thankfulness. So just for the last few moments here, pick a part out of your day. Just one. It can be anything, something that's already happened today. And think about all the people involved in making that possible. Okay. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Hello. Sorry, I know that's a bit longer. That's why I tried to kind of speed through some of the explanation previously. So what we did was meditation. I know maybe if you're new, you're like, oh, I thought the breathing meditation was like what I thought meditation was, but this, I don't know what this was, but it's the same thing, right? We're choosing to focus on something single pointedly, noticing when we're drifting while we're doing that, and then we bring our attention back. This kind of variant of meditation is sometimes referred to as contemplation. We are thinking about a concept or an idea, maybe using our imagination a little bit to illuminate some things. And this particular meditation, I think, is one of the best because you don't need to like traditionally sit down and meditate on this to practice it, right? You do a lot of things each day, lots of stuff. And every one of those is an opportunity to recognize what we just talked about, right? So the next time you go to get a cup of coffee at Starbucks or something, think about all the people involved in putting that cup of coffee in your hand. It's way more people than you probably kind of have naturally assumed were involved, right? If you think about it, that list grows exponentially, right? And that credits list starts to get super packed, and all those names start to come up a little bit higher. So I encourage you to, if you want, don't have to, it's no homework, but over the next, week or so, pick out a moment that has happened and think about this. And it's kind of cool. It's a really interesting way, at least I have found, to change my perspective on who I think is valuable in my life, right? Of course, our family, our friends are incredibly valuable, but so is the grocery store clerk. So are all these people that we have never met and probably will never meet. It's kind of a beautiful way to view others, I think. Georgina, thank you. Rosa, so much to be thankful for. Yes. It's a really cool concept, and I'm going to be honest with you. When I first heard it, I'm like, this is so cheesy. That's what I said. Well, cool Keith. So cheesy. Boy, did I eat my words on that one, because I just this is, over time, this will change how you view how valuable others are. Right? Cool. Glad you enjoyed it. That's it for today. If you had a good time, great. Come on back. I will not be streaming next week, holiday week here. So next week is you're off, and then I'll be back. Steven, grateful my first time in a year. That's amazing. Congrats. No better time to start back up than now, right? So I'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll do another topic on meditation. Thank you to anyone who subscribed to my YouTube channel during the live stream, or chooses to do so later, or has previously. Extremely helpful for me. It means a lot to me. Your support means everything to me. And I'm going to put my email in the chat right now. And if you have any questions as you're meditating on your own, or I don't know, just want to say hi, you can feel free to email me. It is keith@meditationbreaks.com. keith@meditationbreaks.com, spelled correctly. That is my email. Email me anything that comes up. And if you're like, hey, you know what? I kind of love this meditation thing. I'd like to do a little private instruction. I also offer that too. Email you if that's interesting to you. Email me and we'll find a time that works. I do it digitally. It's really good for focusing on stuff that's pertinent to you. We're all here for different reasons. You might be like, nah, I got the gratitude thing down, Keith, but what I really need is, I don't know, whatever. We can focus on that. Tracy, thank you. I am also quite grateful for each one of you and for this little community here. I love teaching. It brings me a lot of joy. And I could not do that without each one of you dedicating so much time out of your busy day to be here. It is not lost on me how kind that is for you to do that. Thank you. Shelley, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. I hope everyone has a great holiday if you're celebrating, and I will see you all in 2 weeks. All right, take care.